Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of City Sim Builds. And in the last episode, we made some major changes to the main highway that runs through Two Rivers County. Originally, this highway ran from over here, up over this mountain, down over here, and then out towards the county boundary. So we made changes in this area because really the roadway grades here were just way too extreme. They were like 20%. And so what we did was came through and we pre-graded and made a nice, gentle, sloping highway that curves around and really respects the terrain and topography. The other thing we did was we added this trumpet interchange. So with this, we do have some movements that are probably not the best, mainly this ramp connection right here, but I think this is functioning pretty well. As you can see here, I adjusted the speeds here to be about 25 miles an hour since this is such a tight turn. But we don't really have any queuing or backing up of any kind through here, so I think that's working pretty well. And I tried to play around with this hump here. I don't really know what's going on with that. I may come back to that and look at that, but for the most part, our grades in here are below 8%. Typically, they're around the 6%, 5% range, which is ideal for this kind of mountainous type terrain. But to me, this feels really good. It looks more realistic and more natural. We are actually starting to see some queuing here. So maybe what I'll do is add a second lane here to facilitate the movement through here a little bit better. All right, now I think that's looking pretty good. Now people should be able to better utilize this roadway connection. And I think one of the things I'm gonna do here also is add a 4-lane section just on this side to allow traffic to flow better. And before we leave this area, I wanna go and make sure I have in TMPE the lane markings and everything set to be appropriate. And that looks pretty good. We'll go over here and make sure we have the other spots as well. All right, I think that has all the major movements covered. Oh, I think I did miss one, actually. There we go. That's looking good. And before we get into the meat of today's episode, which is this big, huge chunk of red, if you could please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button, that'd be really helpful to me. Also, leave a comment down below what you want me to do next. And also, don't forget to hit the like button. That will also really help me out. So, in today's episode, I want to focus in on Rivertown, where we have property value issues. And as you can see, we have lost our commercial district. So we really need to go through and make some changes and give some love to this area. So I think one of the things that might help is we are lacking in industrial. So I'm gonna go back and rezone a few areas up here and see if that helps in terms of our jobs. And I think what that's also gonna do is help some of the residential demand here as well. So if we go in and take a look, we have low land values. And I think some of the reasons for that is because we're lacking a lot of amenities, things like more parks and transit. So I want to make that a focus of today's build, is really go in and make sure we have those nice amenities in there. So the other thing I wanted to do, let's pause the game before things get too worse, but is address the same thing up here. Here we in the mountain town, which we have currently called Lake Hills. If you have a suggestion for what that should be called, please leave that down in the comments below. One of the things I wanted to do here was also add death care. I don't think we have good coverage here, and as well as a police station. I think we might be missing a police station. And let's go in and take a look at that. Yep, it looks like we're missing that. And I got a few different assets here. I kind of like the size and feel of these a bit more. So I'm going to go in and place one of these. Let's see. This one I feel like would fit well in this sort of community. So that's going to help with our crime in this area. And the other thing we need to do is add death care here. And being that I kind of messed up when I did a save on this, where I had milestones and money unlocked as a mod, unlimited money, we opened up a lot of assets, and I don't want to use too many of these out of order, but one thing I do want to use is a crematorium. I really like the amount of space that this saves. and it'll just go a long way in helping our death care. So let's go down and place a couple more of these, and I think that should really, really help things out. Okay, so we'll come in and we'll place a crematorium. I think somewhere in here would be good on this side of town, and then we'll do another one on this side of town as well, over here by our current cemetery. The next thing I want to do is go through and place a few parks. So we already have quite a few park assets, but it looks like we might be needing a few more. So I want to place maybe a couple dog parks where we have some abandonment. So I think this might be a good spot there. And if we come over here, let's see. It looks like we're missing some parks in terms of our parks and leisure coverage here. So let's use a little bit of eminent domain and place one there. Oh, and I realize I have anarchy on, so I need to go through and remove those. Okay. So just to make sure that zoning is still there. Yep, zoning is still there. We just have issues. So let's speed things up a little bit and see if that takes care of a little bit of our property value situation. And I don't think that's doing it. So I think we're also lacking some police coverage down here as well. Do we not have a single police station? I thought I had placed that before. That might be one of the big contributing factors. So let's put, let's go for this police station and put it here. Okay. And let's double check our fire coverage while we're down here. And it looks like we could use some additional fire coverage. Wow, I don't think I placed any here. I really thought I had done that when I went through and created the city from scratch. So that definitely might be part of the problem. Yeah. So let's see here. Let's see if this will help take care of some things. So let's back out and see. Crime rate is high. Let's go in and add a police headquarters. I think that might be a good idea. We'll do a high capacity police headquarters since we have the money for that. And I feel like I'm going to run out of money pretty quickly here, but maybe that won't be the case. But I think this will go a long way in helping our town flourish. And I just realized I needed to extend our water piping up here to this part of the industrial development, and hopefully that will help things out. Okay, so I'm going to go through and just remove some of these abandonments and see if that helps things. So I'm going to go through and do that, and then I'll be back in a moment. Okay, and that has half the town covered, and I am just kind of flabbergasted at how much I let things go here. I guess I spent too much time building the surrounding roads in the in the county, but yeah, this is kind of insane. So one of the things I did do was I went into Theme Manager here, and I used a couple of these different themes here. So let's go into our districts and take a look and see what we're using. So go over here and find Rivertown, so styles. I'm really trying to focus more on like early 1900s buildings. I think that'll look great in this area in terms of commercial and residential. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and take care of the rest of these abandonments, and hopefully we'll start to see some new growth pop in here, and things will start to normalize a bit. Okay, I think that for the most part, that's taken care of all the major issues that we're having in terms of abandonment. And I'm not seeing any additional low land value notifications there. But I am seeing a few issues with crime at this park, and I don't really know why that is the case, because we do have police coverage now. So I think I'm just going to place one since we have the space, I'm gonna place one right here and see if that puts a stop to that. So we should be good now. I think what I'm gonna do is zoom out and see if this area kind of fills in here a little bit. Okay, and we have an issue because we don't have power to our water pump. All right, let's go ahead and take care of that. So I wanna go and use one of these new power lines that I got. I think they just look way better than trying to use ridiculous transformer lines everywhere. So let's do that, and that should take care of our water situation. And while things are hopefully getting better here in Rivertown, let's go up and take a look at, yeah, okay, so this has resolved itself. What they really needed, I think, was a police station and a crematorium to help out. We still have some low land value issues, and I'm wondering if I can place another park amenity, maybe a large playground. I'll place that. Let's see, I might put that here, and I might use some eminent domain for that. But I think that'll help things out with the mountain town here. Okay, I'm gonna let things run here for a bit and see if things improve in this general area. Okay, I think this is just gonna take some time to fill in, but let's go and take a look at what's being developed here so far. So yeah, we're starting to get some of these assets in that I was hoping for. These older, like 1920s, 1930s, 1900s types of houses in here, like a little bit more of a Victorian style. I like that a lot. So in a way, this was good for me from an aesthetic standpoint, because I really wanted this town to look like that. So hopefully that will continue to take place. And let's take a look at this house here and see what's going to develop. Okay, I mean, not the most attractive thing, but it is looking a little bit better in terms of the general aesthetic that I'm going for. And I think we also need to take care of some of our death care related issues down here in town. So I'm going to place a crematorium down here as well. And we already have one there. So I'm going to place one on this side of town. Let's see, I can squeeze it in right there. Perfect. Okay, and since we have some vacancies here, one of the things I did want to add was a transit system. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to add a bus terminal. So let's go into our bus assets and we'll take a look here. And I think I'm going to go with this one, the vanilla bus depot. And I think let's take a look at our zoning before things start to fill in a little bit more. And let's slow things down. So I want to be close to the commercial district, and this kind of looks like a little squinty face. So I think this is a good spot to put our new bus depot. So let's have that facing that way. And let's take a look. And that is terraformed into the ground pretty well. I'm going to leave that how it is, but I'm going to go in and place some bus lines, and we'll see how that impacts our growth in the area as well. And I really want to get a stop here right by High Point Park. I think that'd be a good place to have that. Okay, so we have one bus route that covers the west side of town, and I want to get in another one that maybe potentially two that cover the east side of town. Oh, and I messed up here. Let's see if I can fix this. All right, so we'll get rid of that one, and let's go back here. And we definitely need one here by Middle Mall. Please leave a comment down below for some name changes on that, and I'll definitely change Middle Mall to something that sounds a little bit better. All right, we have our second bus route, and then looks like we are definitely starting to fill back in, which is great. Okay, and I think I'm going to add one more bus route, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to start up here and come down here and follow the river. I think here we'll place one right by Middle Mall as well, and then we'll come up here and start looping back towards town. All right, that's looking much better. Okay. All right. So as you can see, we have lots of buses going around, and I think that is looking pretty good. Let's take a look at our line overview. So right now we have bus lines 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to change this to the blue line. Change this to the gold. Oh, that did not take. Blue. We'll change this to the red. Okay, and then let's change our bus color. So this is a gold color. So we'll come down, see if we can find a nice, somewhat golden color, kind of something like that. Then we'll find a red, which should be pretty easy, and like that. So we're getting some good coverage. 68 passengers on the blue, 13 on the gold. That could be higher, and 49 on the red. Let's take a look at what is going on here with the gold line. And maybe let's take a look at our lines in terms of this. Yep. I think this would be okay for now. Garbage has piled up in the small pedestrian area. We need to take a look at that and fix that. So right now our garbage processing status is pretty low. I think we really need to work on that. One of the things that we technically haven't unlocked, but I'm going to go ahead and use, is one of these incineration plants. I think that would be a good asset to place down and really help us out with our coverage for trash. So I'm going to put that up here, but I'm also going to place a recycling center. And this is really probably going to continue to do a number. Oh, did not mean to do that, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Totally got rid of that industry there, but this is going to do a number on our budget. But I think what we're going to do is let this normalize, and then before we leave for today's episode, I want to upgrade our oil industry a little bit more. So hopefully that will help us in terms of what we need to make things grow and be more sustainable. Citizens are sick, so we need some healthcare coverage. And I picked up another nice little asset that I like, that I want to sprinkle around, which is a community clinic right here. It's like a small clinic, and I'm going to place these probably 3 of them around town. So we'll place one right here along the river, and we need one up here in our mountain town as well. It looks like we also have some fire issues up here in the mountain town. So put that along the main street. And then we'll go in, check our fire coverage, and we are missing fire coverage. I could have sworn I had placed these assets here. Maybe something got messed up with a save of mine. I don't really understand what's happened. I really thought I placed police, fire, and medical up here. So, oh, well, now we have 2 police stations. I might take the hit on that and just get rid of that, because we don't really need 2 of them. So let's go in and remove this and remove that and get rid of that and see if things improve up here in the mountain town. So coming down, just want to take a look at the Mountainside Mining Company. We are still technically turning a profit, but things could be better here. I think our strongest industry, which by far is the Two Rivers Lumber Company, we have a really healthy profit there, so that's good. And we'll come over here and take a look at our oil industry. So coming down here to the oil industry, let's take a look. We have some anarchy issues. Man, I'm going to go through and take care of the trees here. Oh, and that is not what I meant to do. That is not what I meant to do. Let's fix the roads in here. Let's turn off collision. I guess turn on collision. I really need to remember to take off collision when I start an episode, because I think it really messes up with trees just kind of popping through everywhere, and I don't want that happening. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. So if you see something that I'm missing, please drop a comment down below and let me know, because that'll be really helpful. But yeah, so right now all we have is our oil industry main building. We have a few refineries, small refineries. We have oil sludge pyrolysis plant, and we also have a small crude oil tank farm. So let's add a few more assets here and see if we can expand this industry. So since we have the money, I'm going to place a couple of these large oil rigs. We'll do 3 of them. Let's go through and take a look at what other processing buildings that we can add. So right now we have this one, the oil sludge one. We're gonna place a petrochemical plant, I believe. Okay. And I think the other thing we'll need is a storage farm. We can place one of these smaller ones there. And that'll be good in terms of symmetry with like the existing assets that we have in place. And can't forget to place water. So we'll put those underneath the roads. Connect those up. And let's take a look at our industry overview. All right, so right now I'm producing 12 barrels, and that jumped up to 38. And we are definitely turning a profit now. Before this was only a few $100. Now we're roughly $2,500, and we are on our way to having a decent amount of workers and definitely producing a lot of resources here. So we're both doing petroleum and plastics, which is really great, and diversifying the business. So I want to also place an incineration plant while we have the money over here as well. And I think what I might do is place it along the backside over here. And hopefully this will help us out with our garbage situation at the main building. And yeah, the highway still seems to be functioning pretty well, which I'm very pleased about. And let's go back and take a look at Rivertown before we end today's episode. So we do have not enough customers here, and I think a function of that is high residential demand. And I think one of the focuses for the next episode is we're going to be building some smaller communities around the county. I'm thinking a community somewhere in this area, maybe somewhere along over here, to really focus on the residential issues that we have. And that's a huge driver in what's wrong here is there's just so much residential demand that we really need to provide that. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit the like button. That will really help me out. And if you aren't already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. That will also really help me out. But until the next one, I'll catch you later. All right, bye.